Este o plăcere deosebită să vă prezint un consultant norvegian cu 30 de ani de experiență în consultanță în resurse umane. It's true that you have over 30 years of experience in resources. No, it's 32. No, it's not true. Yeah, of course. It's the youngest consultant in Norway. Because the others is Vikings, you know. Okay. Before to start, you know, we have a presents too for you. You know, yeah, it's very heavy. But if you fly with the Lufthansa, it's possible to kill somebody. Yeah? Do it for me, please. Okay. Helge Worren va vorbi despre Brașov, România, octombrie 2011. Succes!
Good afternoon to you all, and good evening. I am Helge. Yes, I'm here. I'm very happy to see you all, and I really hope that you are comfortable, because I'm quite sure that I very soon now will confuse you. But I am also confident that in a while, when you have more of the whole picture, you will become more confident. Hope so. Yes, I have been a management consultant for about 26. Before that, I've been a sales and marketing manager for about 18 years. So I have to admit to you, I think, that I know about 65 years young. Yeah. 65. We share together this next about an hour, take the broad picture, the organizational picture. Looking into organizational development, which means developing the organization, which means developing managers, employees, because of course organizations are people. You are just now looking at the front page of the report of cultural analysis produced by Profiles International Nordic group. It's in fact newly designed, and I want to share some of my experiences during all this year with you, and I really hope that it will turn out to be important for you too, as it has been in my life and for my customers. So we will concentrate on this tool, and I will explain to you how the main ideas behind it, and also ideas for the practical use. Okay? Okay. This is so you will see it's about efficient organization. It's about the personal demands for good surroundings. It's about behavior, and it's about leadership skills. And now I have special greetings to you all from Norway. Have a look. fact, is a greeting to you from Helge Worren. He has been a customer of mine for years, and he is a banking director for our national bank in Norway. And we had a process together for 3 years. And the starting point was this cultural analysis. And you will see that this work made quite a difference. And it's looked upon as practical, leading to effective measures. We worked with the management team, with 70 employees, and worked with information and yes, the whole range of what was important for his part. And this is from Sigmund Eikås. He was then CEO for this company, and they had a great success. Great success. And great success can also be dangerous. They didn't have good enough strategies, lacked management skills, and so on. And look, they got it all right on place. And again, the starting point was this analysis that we shall look into in a minute. And you will see it contains vital information in about 30 areas for important well-functioning and effective organizations. And it is also especially pedagogically designed to enhance your processes and your leadership, your personal leadership. Now we shall look into what you can look upon as your own personal management strategy. So when you want to have something done in your organization, you have to take the broad perspective, the strategic perspective. And you as well has to concentrate on the intimacy, but practical level. And you can see that this area here, for modern managers, it's very tense. Because a modern manager has to be on top of it and also on practical level. In this corner, you have the old habits of working. This is the way we always have done it. In this upper corner, we'll have the past strategies, and up to the right you have new, renewed strategies, and here, of course, new practical working patterns. And if you take the organizational view, you can find companies here, in this corner, always looking at the future, always thinking in a strategy level. I was a sales director in a computer company for a couple of years. This company was in that corner. It was very difficult to focus on the product that we already had. And sometimes you can find a management team in this corner, thinking about the future, making plans, while at the same time the rest of the organizations are here. Parts in history, in the old habits, working the way they always has done. And for every company, there has to be some important movements and important streams, like this. Because the world is constant changing. Then we have to change constant too. So perhaps it's time to look at our strategies, to renew them, and to make some new strategies. I'm very open. Companies are doing this, getting it on place, and stopping there. What is the next challenge? When you have the strategy, what's the next challenge for the organization? It's this movement. Unbelievably, this movement is having good connections from the plans, from the strategic level, out throughout the whole organization to practical work. This is a highly, it's a highly, what should I say? This is an area where organizations often get bad scores. It's a highly underestimated area. And why? Obviously, because this movement, to have this movement on place, you have to deal with a lot. You have to have the objectives, you have to have good leadership, you have to have involvement, you have to have much learning. And then, next step, next movement, you of course have to have all the organization shift from old habits to new practical work. And you can also look into this from a management point of view. Where are you as a manager in this picture? Are you a manager with a tendency to stay at this level and never come back to us? Always in those perspective. I know that many managers are hiding at that. Are you a kind of manager having a tendency to be here at this level and never looking up, take the broad picture and you know, you will be like a cowboy in Texas, shooting from the hips. It goes very fast. I think it will be very wise for every manager to have good consideration of where do you need to place your time and your talents and your skills in this picture. And that you can form as your own management strategy. Okay. About 20 years ago, I really started to look into what does it take to be really good at this level. And I looked thoroughly into it together with my customers. And the same here on this level. What does it need to be really good at this level? To have an effective, well-functioning organization. And what does it take to have this important connection? I started to talk to people, having interviews, and in fact, for every important development process I had in all these years with my customers, I had these interviews. A lot of work, a lot of time used, a lot of money used, having to write manual reports, calculating. And then, for some time ago, I met Findoga sitting back there. And he said to me, Helge, you have to think. Maybe you yourself are fastened in old habits. Down in the left corner, you remember. Maybe you have to look into your strategy and create some new strategy. Why don't we simply take all this information and digitalize it? Making it available in seconds. And we did it. And you are not supposed to read it all, but this is to give you a view and understanding that you will have a lot of vital information in this report. We asked this question: to which degree does the company have a well-developed strategy which is articulated and communicated? And we also have this question: how good connection is it between, in your company, between your strategy and your everyday work? And we will instantly have the answer. And you will see the allocation of the marks, of the scores, for the manager, from the employees, as well. And I made a, yes, and okay, I also will point out, it's a very important point, because, and this is really special, you will also have explicit the comments from every manager and employee who has set them up. You will have the comments, and you will have the positive and negative comments, so you can understand what is behind these comments. very valuable for managers, for employees, and of course for you maybe as a management consultant. You will know. Yes, and here's that question. To which degree do you think there is interaction between the plans of the company on a strategic level and practical everyday work? And it's very interesting also when you see that a lot of managers perhaps are putting pride. And also very many managers maybe put a tree. And what do you think when managers are looking into it and see this picture? What are they saying? Maybe it is, oh, this was quite a surprise to me. Of course we have to look into it. Of course we have to discuss it. Maybe they also can say it wasn't that surprise. But it's nice to see it explicit in this way. Of course we have to do something with it. We have to look into it. And then they are on track. And then you are also on track as a management consultant. And you will have a lot of information to have as every scores, of course, and these explicit comments. When we are dealing with organizational development, I would say to be simple. It's no need to make it complicated. In my view, the art of organizational development is keeping it simple. I therefore put colors to the organization. The red system symbolizing people, communication, collaboration, and learning. And the blue system symbolizing task, control, structure, rules. And as soon as I have shown these colors, people are starting to discuss, we need to look at the red system. We need to look into the blue system. And of course, we need to be good at both people and tasks. And relate this to your own organization. Think for a second. Put them up. How good are your own organization with people? Is it a 1? Is it a 2, 3, 4, maybe 5? And you're lucky. How good are your own organization with tasks? Is this a 1? Is it a 2? Is it a 3? In 1999, I was invited to discuss objectives for the 2000 with 40 general managers in Oslo from a big concern. And I started like this. They got the same question. Think about it. How's your company, I asked. And I put their marks. What would your organization be like? I hope a high five. But maybe it's more like this. Perhaps good people, but not so good the task, or the other way. I can't quite remember the points from this session in Oslo before the. It's a break.
Oh, yeah.
No? Okay. Thank you.
Do you want a break?
No. Okay, thank you. But as far as I remember, it looks like this. It was a 2 and maybe 3 or 4 years. And then I asked them, why did you put the mark like this? Please divide into groups and have a discussion about it. And also discuss what should it take to be a 5-5 organization. And you know what? I had this discussion for the whole day. And the outcome, a lot of ideas. And a lot of ideas of how to work. And it's amazing to see how such simple pictures, to see the power. And when I started with this for about 26 years, it just amazed me. So keep it simple. And up to this, in a second you will have this information from the report. Because you asked, how do you assess the workflow between the units? And we also asked, how did you assess this for the whole company? And for you, department. And we also, of course, had the same questions for cooperation and for the people side of it. And you will have a whole lot of practical information, very important to look into. Because what is organizations really about? It's about workflow and people. Have you a 5 on people on the people side and a 5 on the task? I think you will be rather happy. So, a little about what we call stress peak. And you see here, opinion A, that might be your opinion. And the opinion down and to the right, it might be my opinion, and we're different. We do not agree. And of course, if this difference is big, it can give us worries and even stress. Okay? What we did for the report, we asked the recipients to set a mark on a scale from 1 to 7 on 12 areas which we know are very important for growth of situation. We know that. And we asked, what is it like for you now? And what should it be? And is the difference in score here is 3 or more? You put a 3 or no, and a 5 for what it should be. Then we call it a field of stress. Then we know that in this area you have a field of stress. It's not okay for you. And then we will summarize it up like this in the report. And look, for well-formed feedback, it's also an area tending to giving low scores. And here you will see, and maybe this was your organization, and you will see that you then have 88 employees with stress in this field. They are not satisfied with the feedback. Obviously, because they are lacking. So this is you will see a very pedagogical picture, and because when I show this type of information to managers, what do they say to me? Oh, now I'm very stunned. I see I have a challenge. Because I asked, do you have to attend to this? Of course. What do you have to do? Oh, I have to talk with my employees. Every one of them. I have to ask questions. I have to listen. And you see, therefore, this kind of information, this kind of tool is very opening. It's opening the eyes of managers. And they got interested in taking their job as manager more seriously and go deeper into this, wanting to learn what's behind. Here in this field you can see different cultures. In Norway, at least, I see a lot of companies and managers. And they simply want to see problems. They simply don't want to attend to stress fields. They tend to do you have this notion shuffle the problems under the carpet? Yes? Lying in a way, the problems under the carpet, fully visible for all of us. And you can see other companies, other managers, other culture, where they are very good at this. Facing problems, facing stress areas, getting them out into the light, having rich discussions and dialogues, and learning. Some cultures, in some cultures, have the tendency to solve such matters with structure. But then I would say be careful. It can be okay, but structures have a tendency to be standing for a long time. It's like building a house. And there are cultures also for negotiations. On its best, also okay. But take a special look at this one. And think about companies. Have a culture for taking care of stress fields and different opinions by learning, by having rich dialogue. And I will say I strongly believe that such cultures can lead these companies to be the best universities in the world. It is a culture for it to learn. Your organization will be a very, very good university. And this is important not only to be competitive, but as you know, because the world is constantly changing, your surroundings are constantly changing, and therefore we have to learn just for the sake of surviving on the long run. Therefore, I would like now to ask this question. Do you really know your organization? Or do you think that the managers back at home really know the organization? Are you sure? Are you sure? I also want to say that managers, organizations, even empires are built upon beliefs, not necessarily facts. They are built on beliefs and destroyed on beliefs. Think about this Detroit. Think about Detroit. Getting us all to believe that cars are bought by how the cars are looking, by design. And for many years we had that belief. And then we practically learned us that cars also can be bought from politics. So it's good to be sure and to challenge things. And then you have to know. And then this can help you. So if you are using modern tools, like this type of cultural analysis that we have discussed together now, and like total person assessment, and like 360 degree for developing managers, analyzing organization, and if you have also listen very carefully to the signals from the world in change. quite sure that you will have a solid platform for your own personal leadership, for your own personal charismatic leadership, and for your for positive development processes. I also would like to put this question: why do we need to have managers? Why do we need to have managers? And look, if you want grown-up people to do something, to achieve something, I have to understand why. And then, therefore, we need to have leaders to help make things clear for us. And the people, the grown-up people also have to have good feelings for the task. Then we need to have people's. Then we need to have leaders that are motivating for us, and of course inspiring. Think about it. How many leaders have you met who really are are good at making things clear? To pointing out the situation, pointing out the challenges. Just think about it. In Norway, I have to admit, it is astonishing few. At this point, let us think that that you have this information from the cultural analysis. You have the information, and the question will be, what now? What now? What should we start with? And then I usually have a meeting with a general manager, going through all this stuff and information. And he asked me the same question: what shall we do? And then I say, gather your management group, your management team, and stand up in front of them, and try to make things clear. And think for a second. Now you are my employees, or you're a member of my management team. I'm your manager. And then I will put it like this. This is the challenges as I see it, out to the market. And this is the challenges as I see it in our organization. And this is my mission, and this is our goals. Maybe we now shall have to look into our goals in a fresh way. And based upon this cultural analysis, I clearly can see that these areas make me really happy, gives me joy, because I can see that this is our strength. Good for the result. But these areas are worrying me. and I want to be clear about it, really worrying me. And these are my expectations to the organization, to the whole group, and especially to you and you and you. And now I'm really glad that you have heard me out, that you have listened to me. I have been thinking, but I have not stopped thinking. So now I will listen to you. So I would like you to get into groups and have a discussion. And I really want you to discuss, having all this information, what is most important and should be dealt with first? What's your priorities? And come back and give me your report. And then we will have a very, very rich dialogue before we are making our conclusions. And try this. And I'm sure you will see that this way of approaching it, which you can use throughout the whole organization, lead to freeing lots of energy, lots of creative thinking, and are giving us lots of ideas and how to take and which measures we shall use. So now I will thank you for listening to me, and I hope you will have a nice evening. Thank you.
Întrebări? Helge, pe Helge l-am rugat să vorbească mai rar ca să putem să traducem. De asta am fost un pic mai încet. Okay. No questions? Okay, let's try something, because the next presentation is mine. And because of that, I have a question. Okay, who have a question for that? It's a bribe. Adică e... vă mituiesc. Cine are întrebare? Toată lumea e clară cu cultura organizațională. Mulți vorbesc în țara asta de cultură organizațională.
But we shall be together for a couple of days. So I hope I'll learn to know you more. And if you have a question, please take contact. It would be nice.
Okay. Thank you very much, Helge. Îi mulțumim foarte mult.